You've probably heard of Bitcoin. Maybe you saw it on the news. Or maybe you just heard someone say, "Bro, I should have bought some in 2015. Same here. I didn't ride a wave early, but I did do my homework. I bought a little, and I'm not selling it anytime soon. Why? That's what we are talking about today. Bitcoin sounds complicated, but once you look closer, it's surprisingly simple. It's digital money that no one controls. No banks, no governments, no one. Here's a quick story. A few years ago, someone I knew, let's call him Mike. Mike was sending money back home every month. He worked abroad. Every time he sent money, the bank charged a fat fee. Then he discovered Bitcoin. The first time he used it, the money got there in minutes, and the fee was cents. That blew his mind. Bitcoin is global, borderless, and runs 24/7. You can send value to anyone, anywhere, without middlemen, and no one can block your transaction or freeze your account. That's powerful. But what really made me pay attention wasn't just the fact that it's limited. Yes, Bitcoin has a hard cap of 21 million coins. That's rare, but let's be real. Just because something is rare doesn't mean it's valuable. I can print 21 million ugly pictures and call them rare. No one would care. What makes Bitcoin different is this. People agree it has value. Value comes from trust, and trust is a collective decision. Millions of people believe Bitcoin is worth something, and that belief is backed by code, math, and time. Bitcoin is not just rare. It's trusted. It's recognized. Bitcoin is secured by a global decentralized network that no one can shut down. Not a government, not a bank, not even a billionaire. That's what gives it real power. So yes, the 21 million limit matters, but it only matters because people believe in what Bitcoin stands for. That belief, that shared trust, is the real magic behind it. And I believe that Bitcoin has already passed the consensus tipping point. What does that mean? It means Bitcoin is no longer some fringe experiment that could die any day. It became a mainstream asset, not because governments wanted it, but despite everything they tried to do to stop it. The more institutions fought it and failed, the more I understood Bitcoin isn't fighting the system. It's becoming an alternative to it. In the early days, almost every country tried to ban it. Economists mocked it. The media called it a scam. They didn't dare speak well of it, because if they were wrong, they could lose everything, including their job, their reputation, even political safety. But over the past 16 years, Bitcoin survived everything: regulation, attacks, crashes, and kept growing stronger. Even countries like Russia, which once banned it, and now changing their tune. And when the Bitcoin ETF was approved, something changed. An ETF means Bitcoin was officially accepted by the traditional financial world. It started showing up in retirement funds and institutional portfolios. That was the turning point. Suddenly, Bitcoin wasn't just a weird internet thing. It became part of regular people's retirement portfolios. From that moment on, I believe Bitcoin will never go to zero again. That's the tipping point I'm talking about. Once enough people start using something, it stops growing little by little and starts growing all at once. The internet did the same thing. For years, it was just a tool for tech people. Then one day, it felt like everyone was online. That's the power of consensus. And now, Bitcoin has that power behind it. But in my situation, for a long time, I didn't know I could even buy it. I'm from China. Bitcoin wasn't something you casually heard people talk about, let alone invest in. It wasn't like Chinese stocks, where I can open an app and start trading. I didn't have access. I didn't even know there was a way in. By the time I started paying attention and realized I could buy Bitcoin, it was already worth more than $90,000. My first thought was, wait, regular people can actually buy this? But then I realized something. I used to think I was late, but then I realized something. People have been saying it's too late. They say it at 100, then 1,000, then 30,000. And yet, here we are, still not too late, still just getting started. So now you might be thinking, okay, I get it. Bitcoin sounds legit, but how do I even buy it? Yes, that was my question too. When I first got curious, I have no idea where to start. There weren't many reliable guides in Chinese on what Bitcoin was, how it worked, or how to safely buy it. So I had to dig around, read, test, just to figure out how this works. But here's the good news. It's actually easier than you think. If you have a smartphone, an internet connection, and a few dollars, you can buy Bitcoin. For most people, the simplest way is to use a centralized exchange. Think of it like a stock trading app, but for crypto. In the US, people use platforms like Coinbase or Kraken. In other countries, there's Binance, Bybit, OKX, and a bunch more. You sign up, verify your ID, connect your bank account or card, and now you can buy Bitcoin in minutes. And here's a quick tip. Make sure you turn on two-factor authentication. It adds an extra layer of security to your account. When your money is online, it's important. That's exactly what I did. I created an account, verified myself, and bought a little. Not a whole Bitcoin, just a tiny fraction. Yes, that's something most people don't know. You don't have to buy a whole coin. Because Bitcoin is divisible, you can buy as little as a few dollars worth. Even if Bitcoin is $100,000 today, you can buy just $10 or $20 worth. So don't let the price scare you away. Now, once you own Bitcoin, the big question is, what do you do with it? If you are like me, you probably want to hold it long term, not trade it frequently. That's because Bitcoin's biggest value comes from holding it over time, a strategy called holding. Why hold? Because in a world full of uncertainty, there are very few assets that probably won't die. Most things, businesses, stocks, trends, they come and go, but some assets survive. They make it through crashes, wars, politics, bubbles. They earn their place by outlasting everything else. And when you find one of those rare survivors, you don't trade in and out, you hold. I believe Bitcoin is one of those assets. It's not just about getting rich fast. It's about owning something with staying power, something that gets stronger the longer it survives. That's why people call it digital gold. But in some ways, it's even better. Bitcoin doesn't rust, doesn't inflate, doesn't care who's in power. It's just code, secured by thousands of independent nodes around the world. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Buying Bitcoin won't change your life overnight. You are not gonna 10x your net worth next week. That's not how it works. The real strategy, buy a little, buy constantly, hold it for years, not weeks, not months, but years. You need to give yourself a realistic psychological timeline. Think in terms of 2 to 3 Bitcoin market cycles. That's roughly 8 to 12 years because Bitcoin moves in cycles, usually tied to its halving events. Every 4 years, the amount of new Bitcoin created gets cut in half. Historically, that's when major bull runs happen. But happen those runs? Volatility, crashes, doubt, fear. If you zoom in too close, it looks chaotic, but zoom out, you see the pattern. Higher highs, stronger rebounds, wider adoption. Investing in Bitcoin is like planting a tree. You don't dig it up every week to check the roots. You water it, you wait. So, instead of trying to time the market or waiting for the perfect dip, just stay in the game. That's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to gamble. I'm not looking for the next meme coin. I've decided to go all in on one simple plan. 1. Buy Bitcoin regularly, even if it's a small account. 2. Hold it through the ups and downs. 3. Repeat for 2 or 3 full cycles. That's how I plan to upgrade my financial life. Not through hype, not through trading, but through patience. If you are watching this and still wondering, is it too late? I will tell you what I told myself. You don't need to be early. You just need to be there when it counts and stay long enough. You don't need perfect timing. You need time in the market and the belief to stay the course. So take your time, start small, learn as you go, and don't let the noise shake your conviction. Because in the end, it's not about buying the dip, it's about buying the belief and holding on to it. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you!